All right, guys, in Google Classroom, you're going to see that this works cited page example is there. So we're going to go through it. You'll also see in Google Classroom, you have a blank Google Doc where you'll create your outline in your works cited page. So I've added some source citations from a student's source cards. And so that's what you'll do first off. You're just going to go to your source cards and copy and paste those citations on the page. You don't have to put any space in between, it's fine. All right, notice right here it says the works cited page is a list of all the sources cited in your paper. So once you get your paper written and you're finished, any of these sources that you did not use, you'll go back and delete. Works cited means it's actually the citations of the works that you referred to in your paper. All right, so it says works cited because works is plural. You have more than one source you use, so it's plural. So at the top, you can go ahead where it says Arial. You want to choose Times New Roman. You'll write your paper in Times New Roman, 12-point font. We don't want it to be bold if yours happens to be bold. All right, we do center our title. And then we want to choose double space. Your whole paper will be set up that way. So I'm typing works cited. All right, then I can go back to my regular left margin. All right, so when I scroll over all of this, same thing. I could have scrolled over at the beginning and done the same thing all at one time. Times New Roman, 12-point font, double spaced. And we don't want anything in bold. So you have to click bold twice to make it go away if any of yours are. All right, so now we've got the title, works cited, and then we've got our citations right here. All right, so you don't have any printed sources, so this part won't mean anything to you. But that was just a change in MLA 8. All right, so you will have URLs though. So that web address, that's going to be important. If you haven't already done that, you want to take off the HTTP : to where you're only going to have right here, the www. In some cases, you may not even have www, but you definitely don't want to have the HTTP : That part will be taken off if you did have it with your URL address. All right, so once you do that, if you used anything other than AVL, you want to put a period at the end and then accessed and the date. And so you'll do it with day, month, year. And you'll always end, each one of your citations will end with a period. All right, so right here, and again, if you used AVL, this is mostly done for you. List the title of the source in quotation marks. All right, so the title of the article that you found. And the title of the container in italics. The container is where you found the article. So it's holding the article. So it's the name of the website. That's going to be in italics. So you'll notice right here, historical census browser, that's the name of the article, the title. So we put that in quotation marks. All right, where we found that was University of Virginia Library. That's the container, that's in italics. All right, so we just want to make sure that's done on our own works cited page. All right, so very first thing is going to be an author if authors are there. All right, then we've got the title, it's in quotation marks. Then we've got the container, it's in italics. All right, so all the additional information, and that's on the back of your Purdue OWL handout. You'll see the required information. All right, so then that's the web address. So it starts with search ebscohost.com. So we're good. and it's an EBSCOhost, so that's AVL. So that's all you have to do. You've got a period at the end. All right, this one, it has an author, so it's author's last name. The title of our article is in quotation marks. The container is italicized, and we've got EBSCOhost. All right, it's a big space, and it jumps down, and it's got the URL, and then it ends with a period, so we're still good. All right, this one, all right, appears to not have an author with it, so we've got the next thing in that lineup. That would be the title of the article, Heroes Wanted for Best in the Business Issue. All right, the container is in italics. All the additional information. All right, here is the EBSCOhost, the URL, ends in a period. We're good. All right, then this last one, Yale Journal of Law and the Humanities. All right, so that must be the title. All right, I've got an end quote, but I didn't have one here, so I want to make sure I add that. So we've got the title of our article in quotation marks. Our container is in italics. All right, then we've got that URL, and it ends in a period. So far, so good. All right, we've got Works Cited at the top. It's centered. Everything looks dandy so far. All right, so we've got Works Cited. We don't underline it. We don't put it in bold. We don't italicize it. It just looks plain and simple right here with works in plural. All right, the only thing that these margin notes do not seem to mention is that each one of these citations have to be in alphabetical order. So we've got Allen, Baker, Danhoff, Damari, Drone. All right, so those were all authors' last names in alphabetical order. This one didn't have an author, so the very first word is still going to be in alphabetical order. So historical census browser. So historical is an H. So we've got B, D, 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 H. So it would still go right here. We're following in alphabetical order. So we want to make sure ours is that way. All right, so I've got McKenzie. I've got Hemmings. All right, so that's not going to work. So I'm going to do Hemmings. Actually, here is the end of Hemmings, but then I see that the next one says Heroes. So that's going to come before McKenzie as well. So I'm going to scroll over both of those citations. Once I do that, I can actually drag them up here and just switch that. All right, so take that extra space out. Remember, no extra space. So now I've got Brian Hemmings. I've got Heroes. I've got McKenzie. And then I've got Yale. So that's in alphabetical order. The only thing left is called a hanging indent. It's kind of hard to tell where each one of these citations starts and ends without looking for that URL at the end. So a hanging indent makes it very clear. So I'm going to scroll over all of it. I'm going to take, you see you have a little rectangle and a triangle. I'm going to take my triangle and move it to 0.50, so a ½ inch. Okay, when I do that, it moves everything over a ½ inch to the right. All right, I'm going to take the rectangle at the top and bring that back to 0. It's where that gray and white meet on the ruler. So make sure that it says 0. All right, when I do that, it only brought the first line of each citation back to the left. So now each one of them, you see H, E, M, H, E, R, M, and then Y. So it's in alphabetical order, and that hanging indent makes it very easy to tell each citation. So Works Cited is in the center. Each one of my citations ends with a period, 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 and period. It's in alphabetical order. It's double spaced. It looks nice and clean. That's how yours should look. All right, any questions? Just refer back to that example page or go to PurdueOwl.com and it will guide you through it. And of course, any questions you can ask me too. All right, good luck.